Hey, how's it going? So, right now I'm just going to talk a little bit about, like, this over here. But first, YouTube disclaimer stuff. I'm not doing a show, I'm just going to talk about some things. But, like, this here, this is basically, like, my affirmations, but I feel like sharing. I feel moved to share. I am, like, in a way pestered to share. So, because I don't really want to, but I do. I mean, I do want to get on camera, but that's completely something else. Then, oh my computer just loves to throw up all kinds of little things to press my buttons. But anyway, that's what that's about. And, yeah. So, another thing I wanted to talk about is I used to do this thing called Folicle Focus, and I started doing that. This is the third generation of this channel, so I don't have access to the other two. I wish I did, because I'd have a whole couple of hundreds more videos up here. But, spill milk. Not crying. But Folicle Focus, yes. It was focused on people whose hair I thought was interesting. So I started telling this story, and this is the second take that I'm trying to have, that I am having, of myself making this video. Anyway, so the focus is Jonathan Lemire, and he's a journalist, and he began in print. I was going to say I assume, but I'm not going to assume because I actually looked him up. He began in print, and right now he's like chief White House correspondent for Politico, and he's doing Way Too Early on MSNBC, which is the pre-show to Morning Joe, which he also does. And by does, I mean he hosts, he guests, he's about to have your own show in a little bit, school over there. But anyway, they've been doing some interesting things with his hair, and I will come back to that because I want to interrupt myself with something funny that I learned about stylists and being on MSNBC from Sam Sear from the Majority Report, who is occasionally on MSNBC as well. So it was this day, I was watching the Majority Report, and it was this day that Stephen Miller had been to the White House, or he was from the White House at the time, and he was at MSNBC making an appearance. God, will you stop? Anyway, I don't know if you've ever noticed this about newscasters, but it's mostly women, so it's easy to see this. But you will notice they don't often do profile shots of anyone. But if you happen to catch one of the women, you can see this without them turning to the side. Their hair is all done up like for frontal focus. Their makeup is for frontal focus, right? But if you ever catch a profile of one, I'm talking about newscasters specifically, like that's their job. They're in the studio and they're reporting the good, bad, and ugly news and the weather. So anyway, you rarely see a profile shot of them, but occasionally you will, and when you do, it's like you realize how much of the focus is on the frontal view, because when they turn to the side, it's like, whoa, that situation back there is very badly untended. I mean, it's almost like, you bothered to undo the ponytail? It often looks bad. So that said, remember, we're talking about Stephen Miller making this appearance on MSNBC, and he had used that TOPIK stuff, TOPK. I don't know if you are aware of this stuff, but look it up. It basically is a spray you can use to fill in thin areas on your hair or bald spots. And what it looks like to me, because I have not seen this stuff in person, but it looks like some kind of weird fibrous silly string situation. But it has a tendency to melt in hot circumstances. So big lights in those studios. Just, I don't know if you have a concept of like a spotlight, and there's like several on you in those situations. So they show the host, I don't remember who it was, they were talking to Stephen Miller, and he's very animated and happy because they used a lot of Topic on his hair and gave him a hairline, which he just, it's not that it's receded, it's that it's all the way back here, and he just doesn't have what we refer to typically as a hairline. So they had added one, and it was amusing. Sorry, guy, but it was. But the thing was, is when they showed him from the side, the profile shot was just, you could see that whoever had put on the Topic, they sprayed it on with like a feeling of, I would say, malice, maybe. I don't know. He doesn't seem like the most pleasant person, just judging from the stuff that comes out of his mouth, pretty much. So I suspect that the stylist did not take a liking to him, and that was what was so funny that Sam Cedar had to say. He definitely pointed out, having been in the studio in the situation a number of times, and he's a very pleasant guy, and I don't think they have to do much to him when he's there, like in the makeup chair, to go on camera. And I'm sure it seems like they like him better because he looks a lot better when he goes on sometimes than lots of people. And I had noticed that, where like sometimes people go on there looking pretty good, and then other times you're all, whoa, where's the stylist on a break or something? Like they look completely untouched and they needed to be touched. I don't know, I noticed silly stuff like that. But anyway, Jonathan Lemire, back to him, right? The actual follicle focus. The thing I noticed about the person that does his hair occasionally, because it's not every day, or it's not every time I look on there, and I think they're either messing with him or they're filling in his hair, but my impression every time I see that person has done his hair is like, well, they made him look like Tintin again. Which is probably not what he's going for. And I wonder, are the mirrors broken in there? Are you like afraid to say something because the next time the stylist gets you in the chair, they'll really mess you up? I mean, what's going on over there? Sorry, this Stephen Miller thing, you gotta look it up. I don't even remember what they were talking about, so I can't like send you in any direction. You'll just have to, if you're interested, sift through Stephen Miller appearances on MSNBC in your favorite search engine, I guess. Anyway, is that it? I think I might have something more to say about this. Hold on. I do have something more to say about that. The get out of your way part. Like I said, these start out as things I'm saying to myself, like directions I'm trying to refocus my whatever in and get out of your way. I trip over my own stuff all the time. I'm better, though, because once you start consciously being aware of, I mean, not just the regular stuff of, like, be nice or not be nice and see, like, instant things happen because of it, but Also, the understanding that ramifications go further than just immediately right in your vicinity. Like, you might affect somebody in some kind of way that they rebound off of you and pick up some of what you got going on. That I'm talking about the unpleasant sort of things right now, and maybe it sort of sticks to them and adds to whatever kind of thing they've got going on, which could tip their balance to, like, it could be a great mood time or a terrible mood time. And when you become aware that you can have that effect not only on yourself but others, well, I mean, I'm of the mind that I don't want to, like, affect people in a way that's gonna, in a negative way that's gonna hurt them in some way that's gonna negatively impact them in their life going forward. Basically, like, I don't want to do that. But, excuse me. There are other people that don't mind doing that at all and quite enjoy it. So it's just something that, well, dominoed away from whatever I was talking about to begin with getting in, my own way. I don't know. I mean, for me, it's just about kind of like caring what happens and caring about the effect of what you do is going to have. And so now that I've completely gone off track about the follicle focus thing, I'm going to end with the second one that I mentioned, and it is my own follicles. And so today I was like brushing it out, and I have this great brush. I think the brand is Spornic, Spornikck, I don't know. But anyway, it's got like boar bristles, I believe, but 2 levels of them, so some are longer, and that works really well on knots in my hair or whatever, because I don't always, sometimes I just like to leave it curly, and because if I comb it wet or dry from the wet curl, it's going to do something different than I want. It's going to change it, and I want it to just stay the way it did when it was just wet and I didn't do a bunch of stuff to it. So, and then other times I'll have it like this where it's combed out pretty straight. And so that brush is amazing for, I mean, it's like, I don't have to hot iron my hair with a flat iron. That's what I'm talking about. Or a hot iron. That's like a medieval torture instrument they used to use on me when I was a child. Oh, God. A hot comb. Look that up. That is a torture device. But anyway, flat iron is the more modern equivalent, I think. So I don't even have to do that. I don't have to apply heat. I don't even have stuff like that. I don't even have a blow dryer. Anyway, I don't need it with this brush, though. When my hair is dry, I can just brush the curl right out of it. And so anyway, because I haven't been brushing it, I will get dreadlocks starting to form, and man, the beginnings of them can be so tight. Oh my God. So I'm like, for a few hours, like brushing. I had like 3, and the final one was really stubborn. It took a couple of hours. But part of the reason usually I don't have to be like crazy fastidious with brushing my hair. I just brushed it out like 2 days ago. So it is like really, I was like, that was fast to form 3 dreadlocks in 2 days. And I think the reason why that's happened is because of the weather, or I have been thinking that. So earlier I came across a video of this, I think it was Nature's Cures, but it might have been something else, or Nature Cures. But it might have been a different one of the same vein. But they were talking about how people's hair is just getting fried because of the heat. And that's what I had been thinking. It's like, geez, my hair is so brittle and dry. And, almost like if I grabbed it, it felt like I would make it sound like a dry leaf. It didn't, but yes, I tried it. So anyway, it was just really fuzzy. Like, I have the eternal fuzz halo here because it just breaks from here, I guess, from putting in ponytails or forgetting to brush from the end. And yeah. So anyway, oh, the travails. Anyway, I just noticed it was like really dry. So, and it was kind of disturbing because I don't really like to put stuff on my hair because then I have to be careful of where I put my head, especially if it's oil-based. And that always reminds me of the Jerry Curl era, which was like a horror whether you had one or not, because people that did use the public transportation and would fall asleep and that stuff dripped. I mean, it was a greasy world for a time anyway. Some people wore like a plastic shower cap, which I may have to do because I had to put this Palmer's brand coconut oil hair grease on, and it has coconut oil, something else, I think aloe, but then it also has lanolin, which I think comes from like sheep. Well, I'm pretty sure it comes from sheep, but I think the fur. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I would put it to like akin to like it's not veggie, but a non-motor oil. It reminds me of motor oil. It's very viscous. And the reason why I don't like to put stuff on my hair generally is because, especially like coconut oil stuff, that doesn't like come out on the first wash. It really stays unless I let it sit on my hair for a while and allow my hair to absorb it. And so because of the heat and the crispy hair, that's what I have to do. And I didn't realize until this evening that the stuff I put on my hair had lanolin in it. I've had it for years and I just never really paid that close attention to the label. But I saw it today, and so yes, I will have to wear a freaking bag on my head for at least overnight so my hair can absorb some of this oil, and hopefully it will be nice and shiny and softer. And I mean, it was fine. It didn't feel like I thought it looked, with the crispy sound that it didn't have, but it was very dry. So, yeah, hair treatment night with a bag on my head. Yay! And that is the follicle focus of the evening. Thank you very much. Thank you, and good night.